Welcome to our podcast on CRESS, the Consistent Regular English Spelling System. This podcast offers some thoughts for reading teachers and administrators, informal ones, just initial thoughts to think about, since we do not advocate that anyone accept what we're saying directly, but investigate for themselves, develop their own sense of the value, and understand for themselves what they think would be the proper use of the CRESS system. We'll begin with some generalities. First of all, CRESS offers a fundamental contrast. We'll assume here that teachers and administrators of reading programs are well aware of the problems with the English spelling system. The part of their budget devoted to teaching English reading itself reflects how big the issues are. But there are many other ways in which English spelling creates challenges, difficulties in schools and elsewhere. You might consult some of our other podcasts in this regard. But please contrast CRESS, which is consistent and regular, with traditional English spelling, which we jokingly refer to as SSSS, senseless spelling sabotaging society. Because the existing system of traditional English spelling just really does not make sense. We see painful, costly cultural nonsense. Traditional spelling is as hard to learn as anything that does not make sense. CRESS is a scientific and engineering innovation carefully designed to fix the problem. CRESS has been carefully designed to be the only fully worked out and effective solution to the English reading problem. It provides massive benefits for foreign speakers, of course, who have so many difficulties learning to read and write English. It also helps with pronunciation. But the benefits for children in schools is a major motivation. Traditional spelling violates the concept of phonetic spelling, upon which much of Western European civilization is based, with all of the Roman orthographies, most of which actually conform to the phonetic principle much better than English. There is cultural destruction in teaching a phonetic idea based on massive phonetic confusion. Teaching of sound letter correspondence is self-defeating by any system that confuses sound letter correspondences. CRESS has been carefully engineered for essential requirements over 20 years. Previous reading systems are only remedial and superficial, embedding confusion while maintaining it, although this is not at all the fault of reading teachers or folks that develop systems to help with the problem of learning to read. The work has been wonderful, and a fantastic job has been done helping with what we claim is an underlying problem, which is incredibly difficult. So all credit to teachers, the education community in general, companies, everyone who has tried to find ways to help children with an underlying problem. But CRESS goes back to fundamental underlying basic science principles. It's a departure because it goes right to the fundamental problem. A sound is a sound, and a letter is a letter, and always the twain shall meet. The goals of the CRESS program are maximum simplification of reading education. Free students to learn things that are fun and make sense as the problem of reading becomes simpler and more straightforward. Allow more joy for students in the experience of school. Avoid the waste of minds on useless, senseless, irrational detail. Encourage important learning over mind-wasting nonsense. Make it easy to learn to read. Resolve the reading and writing education problem and dilemma. We should note here that CRESS in no way will replace the community of educators. In fact, as you listen to us talk about CRESS and learn about CRESS, you'll quickly see that there's a whole wonderful need for a fun occupation helping children learn to read and write English scientifically. So many problems will go away, so many negatives, so many more successes. The idea is not that anybody's job will be replaced, but that everybody's job can be much more fun and will be on a much more intelligent basis than using what is basically a senseless writing system. So we offer a few thoughts for teachers and administrators, really what teachers and administrators already know, but we want to emphasize them nonetheless. We're encouraging folks not to accept change too quickly, but think, try, and test. Develop your own opinions. We have enough belief in what we're doing that we think, as folks are given a chance to think through the whole problem, that our ideas will converge. So go gently, slowly, thoughtfully. Take small steps to gauge children's feelings and needs without disrupting comfort. Keep traditional spelling too, as will be necessary, at least as a transition for many years. But consider CRESS early. Use CRESS as the early reading step that makes reading make sense to children. It removes all of the confusion, all of the complications, all of the contradictions. Do not launch experiments or programs for children without extreme caution, preparation, and testing. Respect the freedom of parental choice. Convince rather than contradict. Don't be a revolutionary. Let truth emerge naturally without confrontation. Believe in yourself and decide for yourself independently. Again, teachers and administrators will already be inclined to what we've just said. But we just want to emphasize here that we're on board with having CRESS evaluated critically by the educational community. Go for it. It's important not to take anything at face value. What we offer is a strategic strategy for rational reading success. Do not teach two things at once that confuse each other. English spelling confuses and impedes the phonemic awareness it is built on. Establish phonemics first, simply and completely, with none of the confusion of English spelling. First things first. So much of CRESS is common sense. Teach children carefully engineered simple phonemic reading and writing first, prior to standard spelling. Give them a bridge. Use careful system design to bridge scientific truth and traditional spelling. Consider the design of a phonetic system. CRESS has done this. It should maximize similarity to English spelling. It should take learners quickly to achievable mastery, first of CRESS and then to traditional spelling. It should provide clarity for students that traditional spelling is confused, not they themselves. Give children the intellectual eureka and emotional high of seeing easily for themselves the confusion in standard spelling. There are real advantages to putting the phonemic spelling bridge in place first. It greatly eases traditional spelling. It shows children traditional spelling for the confusion it is. There's no denying it. It should be put forward so the children don't question their own ability. It creates fast literacy. It offers a functional fallback and alternative. And importantly, it promotes the liberty of choice by children, parents, and educators, as well as the larger culture. To CRESS or not to CRESS? That is the question. CRESS provides tools to translate back and forth from CRESS traditional spelling. So the questions aren't as intimidating as they might be. Both systems can exist in parallel. In fact, that is the intention. Let folks do what they want, but have the other system readily available to them. Then watch over time, watch change over time. As young people, relieved of nonsense, adapt. They will take the path that they want to anyway. Why not give them the opportunity of better paths? Certainly traditional spelling is not the best path. The ultimate test of all of this, the ultimate test of CRESS, don't argue, don't create disagreement, don't create division. Just analyze and engineer carefully, then wait, facilitate. Proper solutions will emerge. Thank you for listening to this podcast on offering some thoughts on CRESS for teachers and administrators. We hope it will stimulate some thought, and you will reach your own conclusions in due course. If you have an interest in CRESS, you can consult www.disruptenglish.com. That's all one word, Disrupt English, where you'll find other podcasts on the design of CRESS, the rationale behind it, and introductions, how to use CRESS, and some thoughts on how folks who want to begin teaching CRESS can start to think about it. Thank you for listening. www.disruptenglish.com.